9 o'clock. Morning, everybody. Welcome. Good to see you back, Linda. Gary, thanks for joining us for a while. You have to leave at what? 1, 2? Anyway, we'll welcome your presence virtually until you have to leave. So I'll just start with our brief land acknowledgement. We acknowledge Indigenous peoples and their ancestors whose lands we now share. Move down to 2.0, the agenda. There's a few additions on there, actually quite a few additions. Page 1, page 2, and page 3. Any further additions? Seeing none, get a motion to adopt the agenda with the additions. Councillor Palavisky, all in favor? Carried. Great, got you, Gary. Minutes from April 28th, which I was not present at, but they're there for your review. Any discussion? Corrections?
I'll move the minutes.
Okay, seeing none, Councillor Simsky moves to adopt the minutes as presented. All in favor? It's carried. We have no delegations today. We're going to be a delegation this afternoon. So we have two policies to review. 5.0. Item A is a travel policy. To explain the changes on there.
I will go through that one comment. So if you look at A, the stuff in yellow is what we added. So we just added election workers in there as well in some of the places there. See hiring of staff, just some minor living changes. And then the meals expenses is still at the 20, 25, 30 of a total of 75 a day. Just added election workers again, another election workers, and private overnight accommodation. The reason I confirmed it's $50. So we're changing that to CRA rates there.
So which one is that?
That's 3.3.
Well, so you just took up the 25 of whatever the CRA rate is.
Yeah. And then also under air transportation, we took out, which includes the residential portion of the airline ticket and what it was. It's just we were supporting all those things. It should be all there.
Yeah. Any questions on that? Looks good to me. Anybody here to make a motion to adopt that policy with the amendments?
I'll move adoption
Okay.
of the amendments.
Okay, Councillor Chug, any discussion? All in favor? That's carried. Item B, we're gonna skip over. We'll come back to that after our in-camera session because we need some clarification on what's going on there. So we can move down to 6.1.1, council legislative. Item A is informal roundtable discussion, the forestry sector and community resilience in the region.
So maybe just some information from Cammy's side there for this roundtable session. The ADM has requested a smaller group to meet with and discuss the challenges facing the forestry sector along with the community's priorities and pressures. So for the meeting, invitation is limited to Terry, myself, and
I think Tom Server and
yeah,
Northern Sunrise are sending a representative.
and then we will share the takeaways of the was from Cam. Thank you for understanding what you said.
So I guess we just need a motion to approve our attendance and. Okay, Councillor Beckham, you've got a motion. Any questions? Yeah, all in favor?
So who's going?
Well, so myself and Gerhard. What trees are you going to? Yeah. Okay, all in favor? That's carried. Item B is a Blue Heron Support Services Association invitation. not familiar with these, I don't know if we've ever attended or supported before. It's, you know. What does council want to do with it? If there's any value in having somebody attend? That's this weekend day or? Maybe,
I don't see, be bad if anybody wants to go to that. Somebody to hear your posts.
Be jumping up and down.
Yeah,
So,
look like that,
information.
yeah.
make a motion to have information, okay, Councillor Reese moves that we set the invitation for Blue Heron for information. All in favor? Carried.
Chair, can I just make a recommendation
Yes.
that we use the microphone from this,
Oh,
because
sure.
otherwise Gary won't be able to hear us.
Oh, good.
Okay, item C is the Alberta Northwest Territories Command and Military Service Recognition request. This is something that we've contributed to regularly, as you can see in the previous motions. Just,
Like, make you. General price, but 1 3.
option 3, so option 3 is up the full page.
Order page. Order page. Unless you want to-
Oh, it's a recommendation on this one. Okay, Councilor Whiskey, let's make a motion that we donate a quarter page ad to the military service recognition book. Amount of $690, that would come out of council grants. Any discussion? All in favor? Okay, that's carried. Item E is a request from resident. Reeve snow plowing of private driveways.
You skipped one of these.
Did I? Oh, the living lots one, so we already had it checked off. Okay, I'll back up to the thing from Lackadish Community Services. Looking to this Alberta living allowance. So it's a lot of reading there. And I guess I get what they're doing, that, you know, we in the north are at a bit of a disadvantage when it comes to cost of living, and then the federal government gives a cost of living exemption on your taxes, but the province doesn't apparently, so I'm trying to level that off. So I guess all we're looking for is a letter of support at this time. I mean, yeah.
I don't know what they mean by northern living allowance. We do get a northern. On our taxes.
Yeah.
From the federal
From
government,
the federal government, but not the provincial taxes, right?
but they call it a living allowance.
Not a tax benefit.
Yeah, like.
The current one is a deduction used in calculating your taxable income, which is then used for calculating your taxes payable provincially and federally.
Yeah, that's-
So I think it is kind of miscommunicated in this
Yeah.
letter. I'm all for paying less taxes myself, but
Yeah,
don't think that everything in here is completely accurate.
that's all I'm reading it too.
We've been doing taxes.
Yeah,
for
that's
us.
right. Yeah, my head's spinning still. Allowances. You can get an allowance from. You guys, you know, from the county, you can get it for. But it doesn't help. I've just never. I think we get that 8,000 is better than, you know, on your taxes, and it does help. Because it lowers your taxes, right? From 80,000 down to 72 or whatever. And that's for both, right?
So I see that they've sent this information to NEDC, which I said, oh, we have a had a meeting since they've done that, so I don't know what NADC is, what their take is gonna be on it. So maybe we need more clarification what they're actually looking for, and then we'll.
Mhm.
Reading it, it sounded like we don't get it
Well, I mean,
in Alberta.
I mean, they mentioned in here, and you read it about the federal northern living allowance exemption, I guess it is. But
It also
Saying
helps.
deduction, not allowance.
Pardon me,
I said, I keep saying it's a deduction, not an allowance.
no, that's the exemption, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know what their definition of allowance is, and even think about a family allowance here, people used to get a check in the mail.
Sounds like it's cash benefit,
You know,
Yeah.
so it would have to come from tax base, apparently, but again, short on details here.
So do we reply to this, or we just ignore it, or we just accept it for information at this time? Or do we ask for clarification, or wait for NADC to take a position on it?
I think you should, like, you get clarification of what they're really thinking about.
So let's,
Yeah, it says allowance, but then we talk about a deduction, so
that's
what
what
are
I,
they asking for?
So does
Maybe
council want this, Peter Mo, which come as a delegation before council?
so NADC meets at the end of this month. And I'm sure it'll be on the agenda, I haven't seen the agenda yet, should we wait and see what their position is on it? And I mean, they keep referring to them, right, about all the stuff out of their report. Or I guess these are the people that reached out to us, it wasn't NADC, so maybe we should ask them to
Hopefully.
have them come as a. If we. And they say in there, this is gonna be a slow process, right? They're expect anything, especially if we're looking for a direct handout, that's. Never gonna happen, it'll be a long time, but I just think, is there any immediate rush to have them come as a delegation? Wait for the NDC meeting, see what that says. Have them come in June or July.
At the end, it does say, do not hesitate to reach out, you know, if you wish. For them.
You know, just ask for clarification by email on
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't
what
think.
the concept is here.
Yeah.
Weird.
So we'll get administration to look for some clarification, some of the definitions of what an allowance is. So somebody wanna,
Yeah,
that
I'll
motion,
make that motion.
that we accepted for the report for information on how administration reach out for clarification. See along those lines. This is just a type in there. Okay, I think, we can't see the motion, but I think we know what the purpose is. All in favor?
Brent, that was your motion?
Yeah.
You got it, Teresa? Okay, now we can move down to item E, the snow plowing or private driveways, so. So. I guess. My opinion, we expected that we would have some pushback on this, and as you recall, I voted against motion to do that, because I think. Therefore, it is the value, but I support council's decision.
We heard about this at the expo, trade show, T-shirt. Some gentleman was very happy about it, but. After some discussion, he seemed less, irate. You know, I think I think we can easily justify this position that we've taken, you know, we get another winter like it puts our operator in a terrible situation. I think a letter to the person laying our position. Good.
Yeah, we also heard, Saturday as well.
Yes, 1%. Which that's right.
And just so council is aware, I have taken 4 phone calls
Okay.
and explained it and.
So I think some misinformation in there, like the 13,000 for seniors windows, that must be the Star Center now, which was
Yeah,
paid for
which-
by a grant. The 250 for Legion, that was for the Grimshaw Legion, I think, who we support, one of our support communities. I'm just gonna read through here, because some, no other village does this, well, we found out that there's less and less municipalities offering the service, right?
Yeah.
We're not the first. We're kind of,
One of the last, that's why.
Yeah.
you know, it's,
Yeah, I don't like being called unionized and told.
Yep.
I think maybe just explaining each of those.
the second paragraph,
Items.
oh, sorry.
Oh, I was just saying, I think a letter responding, just explaining those items.
Right.
Then we can let her know that we have a rate pair meeting scheduled and she's more than welcome to come and chat face to face with council at the rate pairs meeting. Cause I think she is in one of the wards, right?
It's in word, yeah, mine.
Yeah, the second paragraph, the third paragraph, I haven't heard any other county feeling the need to take away the snow blowing services, well, we kind of heard the opposite, right? It's getting to be less and less of a service,
That's
and,
when I attended, the spring session at, RME. They looked at me like I was crazy. They're like, you guys are still doing that? Yeah.
well,
It was a very nice service.
it was. I agreed with that, that's why I didn't support the motion, but, and they don't look at the whole picture, right? With the half hour to snowplow the driveway, that's all I see, they don't realize the high waiting for 10 kilometers to get there and 10 kilometers back again, and,
And it's just 15 minutes to do my driveway.
you know.
Yeah, that was part of the problem.
But I should do that with the operators because they do the roads and then people are having them to go back and do the driveways. In the meantime, snow's piled up this much, so do you go and do the people out of the driveways or you do, and then if they're going back empty, the public sees that, oh, there's the grader going down there, not even plowing, but on and on. I have no issue with this.
No, I mean, I knew, we knew that people would be unhappy. That's, and I don't blame them, but it is what it is, I guess, and.
And so part of our discussion as well, it was that we would kind of come up with a list of private companies that would do this, right? So that's one of the things that I've been telling some of the residents, because the one that called, they're seniors, they're not in great condition, and they are not going to be plowing their driveway themselves, so. And that's what I told them, I said, well, we'll advertise a list of contractors that are willing to do private driveways.
So how much is it gonna cost for us the way up north, to get somebody? Who in Cape River area?
You know who.
Well,
There's a business.
But that'll be on,
business now.
that'll be on his own.
Maybe retiring from Texas.
Yeah,
But there might be somebody that decides, oh, you know what, it's gonna be worth it for me to go buy a truck plow and.
Well, so do you have any, like, contract graders, if they've done their beat, everything is done, can they do work on the side after?
That's up to them.
yeah, they.
You're not restricting them from, doing
No,
other
they
work.
can, if they wanna do that, as long as they're not billing me for it.
So there you go, so I mean, the contract grader would be able to provide that
That's
service.
who I was figuring.
Yeah.
So anyway, we'll, I guess we'll have council write a letter back to her just to address her concerns and. Yeah. If that's what I think we're gonna do, someone will make that motion.
No.
Okay, Brenda, Councilor Sinking moves that we will respond to her. Was that come by email? We'll get it.
Yes.
We'll do both. We'll email it and we'll put a letter in the mail too. Okay, all in favor? Thanks, Gary. That's carried. Item F, council's monthly calendar for May. Information or to add to it, I guess.
Yeah, just a, it's our meeting for PLS is actually on the 23rd. They changed it on the app.
I've asked Teresa to add this to the agenda, and maybe we can do it to add that all meetings just to update the calendars. It makes it a lot easier for us to actually give it to Polly to just make sure that all buildings and stuff is right, and also it shows that that council is definitely out there.
Yep. Not a bad idea. Okay, so I guess this is just information. Motion to accept the council calendar for information. Okay, Councillor Reese, all in favor? It's carried. And down to our additions. Item G is the first one. Alberta Forest Products Association has an open house. So they do this every once in a while. They do one in the winter time too, and I've talked to them, yeah, no, we know that it's a long ways to go just for our finger foods and talking, but we're certainly supportive of their organization, so anybody, I won't be around, anybody else wanted to attend, I would just send our regrets.
Yeah, I'm not available, I'm double booked that day, so I'm fine to send the regrets a long way, plus it's a council day.
Okay, that's your motion.
Sure.
Great, Councillor Shelton. Accept for information and send our regrets to FBA. All in favor? Carried. Item H, the next edition was the ratepayer meetings edition. So I see you suggested the number the 15th. I won't be here, but that's fine. You guys can go ahead and do it.
And I think the time that we got back from them was at 7 o'clock.
If we're, we have
In Dixonville, but, like we have the hall, we just made attendance first before we go. We're at a conference today.
No, we're going on vacation.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Something. Yeah, I think we get back to Canada on the 15th.
Okay.
I don't have it marked down, I'm sure, but I think we're back home on the 16th, so.
Does that work for everyone else?
Yeah, I'm trying to find it here.
community features and issues, but really that's not.
Yeah, no, if you're set on that date, that's fine. Another date, I will do.
Well, it was just that we, now 15, 16 or 17.
Yeah, I was
There's
just,
three of us.
yeah, I just wasn't good for the 18th.
So it could be on 16, 15, 16 or 17. Who's right on any of us? So another day works better for you guys.
And we'll put it on three, or two, well, yeah, 2 days. Can bring Kate on Zoom. We'll just have to take the rest of it.
Is there Linda? Here, Brent.
Yeah.
So you guys stick with 15th.
We'll
Yeah.
just stick with the people.
And Gary's good with that, right?
Yes.
The men's all good with that.
15th, yeah.
Okay, so we just need a motion to acknowledge receipt of the report and set June the 15th for rate period meeting wards 1, 2, and 3.
Dixonville Community Hall at 7 o'clock.
Well, I haven't booked it yet, but very likely, you can just say in Dixon Senate. For now. The motion.
You make that motion.
Sure.
Councillor Sims, do you make that motion? All in favor? Good, carried. Carried. Let's get through these last two additions here, then we'll take a quick break. Item I, Community Futures AGM invitation. Also, nothing here from Community Futures. Either or. So they're having this on Monday, that's the same day of the meeting, so.
I had said that. You said that I,
Pardon me?
but it doesn't matter, that's not, I can say that I have attended, he's gonna attend.
So does anybody have a preference that they're gonna go to the AGM, or do they want to go to the ratepayers meeting? If not, we'll just accept it for information and.
I'll move to accept information.
Okay, Councillor Sinski moves, we accept the invitation from Community Futures AGM as information, all in favor? Period. And item I is World Family Doctor Day Declaration.
May 19.
This is from the Alberta College of Physicians, so this. We support that. I didn't know what organization. We're doing this one before, but. I see no harm in doing that. We. Appreciate our physicians, recognize them.
I'll make the motion that we declare May 19th World Family Doctor Week.
Okay, thank you. So shall we make the motion, all in favor? Period. How are we doing for time? We're doing pretty good. Do you wanna? We'll go through the report first. You can have. I think we'll move to 6.1.2, the CEO report.
Thank you, Chair. So I attended a duty to accommodate session, a webinar session. It's quite interesting. We also, Sherry and I met with Vicky Smith from Vision Credit Union just to see how an organization like them are handling negativity at the workplace and training of their staff and stuff like that. I think it was an absolute wonderful meeting. And Sherry and I, we're going to try and schedule a quarterly meeting with some of the businesses in the community just to see how they actually do that. And I think it's also a good time to meet with the people that's running those businesses, which is a good idea. We had the Mark meeting. They decided to make some cookies for Rural Health Week, May 25th and 29th. There was some flooding. Maybe just some information what we received back from AEMEA on the flooding and if we can have a claim or not, and if residents could have a claim or not. So I'm going to read because I don't want to start this one up because this is quite important. So they actually reached out to us, a resident or a residence about the Hazard Assistance and Resilience Program from AEMEA. So Paul and I reached out to them and the county, and this is just the county's cost at the beginning, incurs eligible costs from a disaster that meets or exceeds $255,000 and $250. Don't forget that $250. So that's sort of the first gate that you have to go through. So if you can't prove that you have incurred $255,000 and $250 of losses, then there's no claim at all. If you can prove that you have those, and that's with the flooding, it is not just a localized flooding in one specific corner. It could be throughout the county because it was a lot of snow and a lot of damage throughout the county. So we're busy mapping all the washed out culverts, Galena Flats one, which is quite an expensive one. There was a bridge or a culvert bridge that washed away that we're going to need to replace and stuff like that. So we're adding all of those up to see if we can get to that 255,000.
So who validates that number? Like who does the assessment on that?
So we would give them the quotations and the And the estimates that we got, that we got,
And they're good with that.
and they good with that, they will look into that and. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
all I want to say about
I
that
just,
now.
yeah, I mean, you just wonder some of those costs, I'm not saying us, but they could inflate those costs, right, to try and meet that threshold.
Yeah, I'm sure they have some sort of change mark.
Yeah.
Pricing that they can, that they confirm. And I mean, in our case, we're probably gonna use some of the cost estimates from the engineer and stuff like that, so we're not gonna come up with all ourselves.
So how does a farmer, if your culvert was damaged? How do we, you know?
If it was damaged by flooding, and it was done during this flooding period that we just had, because they sort of limited to a 30-day period. Although some of the flooding is still ongoing, and it's after the last flooding conditions, if you want to call it that, they put a stake in the ground, say you have 30 days to put your claim in. So you can't use for the next 3 years all the culverts that you can replace as an added cost. For that. So the disaster is caused by an eligible natural hazard, which is with a distinct disaster period and a defined geographical boundary that would be sort of county-wide. They said we can extend it to that. With flooding in the area, the point where it can easily be met, that's actually their comment. And the county applies for a half within 30 days of the disaster end date. The flood seems to be still ongoing, judging by the river forecast near Manning. She would be well within this period. That's also one of their comments. And I asked if we had to declare a SAL and did not have to declare a SAL. And once we had all these numbers added up, and it equates to more than 255,250, then the private landowners, after they've handed in their claims with their personal insurance, and there's a portion that was not there, but they could add that portion to it afterwards, and the province would consider, not definitely, they will consider, but it could be declined. Like with all other AEMA claims, it's not a guarantee.
But it has to be within that 30 days.
And it has to be within the.
So if they're dealing with a private insurance company, that could, depending how quickly that goes.
That 30 days is us.
Yeah, the 30 days are for us, so they can add it after that. What we need to do with ours within 30 days. So that is just some information that I think was, if there's any of the residents that comes to council, just to use as this is the actual information we got from a wonderful lady to deal with, and it's really. We also met with our new local field. Full title, but the guy that's actually looking after our region, Daryl, very nice. He brought the ESS people out too. A really nice guy. I think it would be good working with all of them, and he put me in touch with this Caroline lady, and it's been a real pleasure with.
So he's with AEMA.
AEMA. This claim is also through AEMA, Alberta Emergency.
So this new guy, he took the place of that Alan's.
He took over from Adam Stephen, yes.
And he works at a Grand Prairie.
He works out there great.
So we don't have the disaster end date yet, do we? I thought you said some disasters still going on.
Well, there's still limited flooding going on, but we are putting it all together. And
Yeah, we're starting
the
the process.
Yeah.
There's a lot of information together.
For sure.
But yeah, there is no end date yet, so the 30 days hasn't started.
Hasn't started yet.
But I'd rather, if they want, have everything bundled together and there you go.
Okay, well,
That is my report.
okay, any questions on the field report?
Guys are taking all those calls and.
Okay, we'll see none, and just, I just want to expand on the Mark meeting, ordering cookies, so I mean, the cookies are gonna be decorated with healthcare things on them, stethoscopes and hearts and all that stuff, and they're gonna be distributed to all the healthcare workers at the clinic, the hospital, and Delaware Lodge. They do that during Health Week. And Charles and staff, I think there's kind of gonna put up the banner above the entrance to the hospital again, and the one down by the lodge.
Already ready. We'll look to do so.
Take get a motion to, accept the CO report. Councillor Neckin, all in favor? Carried. Okay, let's take a 10-minute break. Jerry, we're gonna take a 10-minute break.
I did, Richard.
Okay, 6.1.5. Director of Finance update. Josh, what do you got?
Everybody's favorite part, eh?
Yep, that's what we'll need.
Yeah, first part is just a breakdown of the council grants. Don't believe anything actually changed since the last time, so there for your review. Miscellaneous unassigned portion, just pay attention to that if there's any other requests coming in the meeting. I don't think there was today, but that number in the back of your head. Then the Peace River Expo, you guys all attended, Thurl went on behalf of admin. So just wanted to know if there was any feedback from council on that. How did you like the one prize versus the
Oh, wait a minute.
mini
I'd like
prize?
to thank you guys because I couldn't make it. I was like. That day was, sorry I didn't. I really appreciate Gloria and Gary there stepping up for me. And all of you. Did it.
Yeah,
Number one basket cars was not.
way better. Yeah.
It's phase rather than we complete, yeah, it was quite.
Who won the
quite-
basket?
I need a name.
One name guy,
Yeah.
what's his name,
Yeah.
Andrew or something,
One, what did I use?
he just had Andrew, I don't know, there was just a, maybe you did find it last night, but.
Yeah, no, Trent knew who it was.
Oh.
Yeah, somebody that had worked, I think, with Advantage for a while or something. But so anyways, we got it sorted out. I believe it's been picked up.
Good.
It was a pretty cool prize, I think. Yeah, overall, that's buying all that other junk that the kids just keep coming and spinning the wheel. and back.
It's good, people were more engaged about the distraction of this other
Yeah.
thing, and we were talking the whole time, people were coming up, it's really great.
Good.
Way more engagement.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't attend, but I think that backdrop showing where the county is, and you know, and geographically, so
Yeah.
people say, like, so many people other years. If you know the sunrise, oh yeah, you guys are on Sunday, or the other one, well, where are you actually? Well, here we are.
There,
No,
yeah,
and we took kind of some targeted planning and development things and had Pearl there to chat about it, so she had a few conversations, I think she had a few people sign up. Watching
Yeah.
some upcoming land use bylaw amendments that want to be updated, so. Sounds like it was successful. Yeah, so off the hook now for another until next year, I guess. Then just a reminder, so, as of May 1st, we've applied a 12% penalty in accordance with your bylaw on all unpaid taxes. So just, we don't send out invoices for those, it's expressed on the tax notices every year. That one we send tax notices out shortly after those, so people sometimes might phone you or us, just in respect to the amount that's still outstanding, so if you do get any phone calls, just have them contact our office and we'll go from there. End of April, beginning of May, I was busy doing some grant reporting, so some of these grants that we get, great to deal with, keeps me busy for a little while getting all the reporting done. So I've just provided you a list there of all the ones that I've done and dealt with and, got submitted before the deadline. Second page now, so new email domain, we pushed this off a little bit just while we were in the heat of the flooding and the melt, but it is live as of Friday. Our primary email address now reads at countynl.ca. So a little bit shorter for everybody. The old ones do still work. The communication approach that we are taking though is please update your records to reflect the new one. And we will though continue to get the old one. If you guys ever have to sign on through the web browser, you can still use your original one and your same password, but yeah, shortened it by probably half the length. So Annual property tax and assessment notices, so we had a. Couple busy days in the council chambers here, but they were all to the post office on May 8th. I know a few people have already received them, some of them, people do request to get them by email as well, so I know that some people have got them. We did get the tax quick budget guide insert done, so if anybody's worried about that, that made it in there.
So I haven't seen one yet, Josh, but were they able to change the program, so you don't just get a grand total, like last year, remember they were separating each role?
Yeah, so we said that the notices have to be for each property, then we have an owner summary, so you have a different one for every different variation of owner there is, but they were able to get those with the total this year. It was a bit of a hassle till the very end, and then we were able to get it, so. They are in there. Yeah. So just a few things to remember, due date is June 30th, always has been, as long as I've known, so it hasn't changed. Final date of appeal though is July 15th, it's expressed on the tax notices. And that's pretty much more or less the same as always as well, so if you guys get, calls, I guess, about this, I just gave you some speaking points to remember there. So our mill rate, the municipal mill rates did not change. That does not mean people's taxes aren't higher this year than what the monthly are. Assessed values fluctuate, the provincial, mill rates for education, BIP, all those other things did increase, as did the Northeast Housing Fund. And like I said, assessed values on average are all gonna be up for residential properties. We get lots of phone calls to the office, just complaining about, especially if things are kind of in construction or if things were moved on with confusion there, so just a reminder that you're paying taxes on the condition of your property last December with a market valuation date of last July. It confuses people, but that is their standard, that is how it works. And then I also get lots of people complaining about farmland, and I love those conversations, but it's completely out of my control. Province makes up how they assess that, and they apply their metrics from the land of make-believe, for lack of a better term. Then also people are able to, for lack of a better term, challenge or inquire or appeal their assessed values only. They cannot appeal your bylaw that sets the mill rates. So they're more than welcome to call our office or the assessor. Contact information is on their tax notice. We can walk them through what's there, what's being captured, look at significant changes. We always recommend people speak with the assessor first. If they're still not happy, then they can go through the formal appeal process. There's a fee associated with that and a bit of a process. The 10 years I've been here, I think we've had 3, maybe. And of course, someone like Mercer is a completely different process, but for residential people, it's not as big of a process. And then just to advise you guys, we did, as we always do, put ads. So this week's paper, next week's paper on our website, on our social media, advising people that they have been sent out. So if they do not receive them, to please contact us so we can get them new copies. Because just if you do not receive your tax notice does not mean that you do not have to pay them by June 30th. Not a popular statement, but that is the rules that are given to us. Any questions about that before I move on? Here's mine. Then just a quick note, so final budget, after we passed our mill rate bylaw, I went on and updated the tax revenue line items, so we've now, I believe, as of yesterday, got a PDF copy of the budget up on the site as well. And I think we're gonna put the wording from that tax insert guide on there as well. And then I've just given you a list of some upcoming events or meetings. Biggest one just being next week after the long weekend, I'm in my once annual finance conference. For the duration of the week, so still available by phone or email, but out of the office. That is all I have for you today.
That must be an exciting conference, so room full of.
It's more exciting than anything, yeah. But it's good, they get good speakers, we usually get, like accounting standards updates, they usually have GST auditor or something like that, lots of, IT specific stuff as well. Just kind of topics all over the map this year, so it's, yeah. But nice try.
Okay, thanks, Josh. Any questions?
I'll make a motion.
Okay, I just see. Task force meeting, ICF task force meeting this afternoon. Any pre-work council requires for discussions?
Yeah. Probably a little late to ask now.
Well, I mean, we've really seen no agenda, right? I mean, you know, a loosey-goosey meeting that probably nothing will happen if. I don't know. But you're gonna attend?
I am there today, yeah. I get to go from this to that and then to the minor hockey meeting. Day full of meetings.
All right. I see no questions, so I see Councillor Halibisky's made the motion to accept the director of finance report. All in favor?
Thank you, council.
Gary gives a thumbs up. Thank you, Josh. Okay, we can turn to page 2. Then we can move straight up to the public works, DPW report. A verbal report today.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't have any time to put anything in writing for you. Been pretty hectic. But a couple things we'll talk about, dust control, we had our kickoff meeting with, Tiger Calcium, and they will be up here June 1st at the latest. Hoping for the week before that, but it's a fluid situation. Thank you, Josh. There have been some concerns down in Weberville. Gary and I talked about this last night, actually. I've received a few phone calls. There is a gravel pit that is off of Range Road 222, just north of Danville Road. As you know, Danville Road, permanently weight band. We dumped a bunch of money into that road years ago, and it needs to be preserved. There were some issues week and a half ago where a couple of loaded trucks drove up that road. They corrected, however, now we've had reports of a couple unloaded trucks driving down that road. We have once again corrected them. There's also concerns with dust control. They have informed me that they are dealing with it. We will give them some time. That project that is going on in that pit is for Highway 743. The provincial government gave them the option to use that pit. It was expressly told to them in the tender process that Danville Road is not to be touched. So, more fun for me.
So how do they access it? Then they have to go further north and then?
Yeah, so Township 850 by the Weberville Hall, they can come west on that and then south on 222.
Okay.
So they do have access.
Yeah, it's not really much longer that way, is it? It's just like.
Yeah, it's just inconvenient. And I mean, for residents, the dust is an issue, but they, once again, were made well aware that that was the route that they were going to need to take. That dust control needed to be dealt with. There will be an asphalt plant set up in there at some point in time. So I assume that I will be having further conversations with them. I already touched on that. I've only received 4 phone calls about the snowplow program cancellation. I had an initialization meeting with our bridge engineers. As council will remember, we awarded that to MPA Engineering. It was a very good meeting. Brought up some concerns about bridge culverts that have been washed out. They are going to be assessing those and also just some. What they require to transition. From our previous engineer to. Them. And additionally, this week I will be attending the Water North Coalition meeting on Thursday. It is in Dussard. That's all I have for you. The flooding stuff is ongoing. I will bring you a full detailed report about that. Today. Once it's stopped.
Any questions on the DPW report?
So we had a fair bit of water damage, like not as bad as we were
If it worse.
worried about, but so how much overall, I mean, how do you assess the damage that we've had with that's right?
How do you want me to quantify it? Dollars? I don't know yet. I'm still totaling that up.
So, anyway, it's a fair bit, right?
Yeah. It will be a fair.
Okay, I guess you'll get a number too.
Yeah, I'm not going to say publicly what a number is, because I don't know the total number yet. I've got a running total, but like I said. Not
At any rate, it wasn't as bad as we initially were expecting.
No, it could have been a lot worse, and we were prepared. I believe in the previous meeting, I told you guys, I sat down and I went through a whole ICS process of developing a plan to address if things got out of hand. Not saying that they didn't, but they did not get as bad as what we anticipated. The snow melt definitely 100% helped us. It also gave us a little more time to get some ditches cleared, get some culvert ends open, get all the ducks in a row to help them float down the creek.
No, that was my observation. What I seen was. We anticipated a lot worse than it actually was. I mean, there was a wall of water came and
What?
went through fairly quickly and.
Yeah, and I don't know what it was, something in the bush opened up their non-queuing area, and it just. Well, washed over bridge culvert, did some damage to another bridge culvert. So not ideal, but we're resilient. We'll patch everything up and put it back to normal.
Well, good work, you guys.
Thank you.
Any other questions? We get a motion to accept the verbal report. Okay, Councillor Reese moves to accept the verbal DPW report. All in favor? It's carried. We get Trin in here for this.
Yep, working on it.
We'll move down to 6.62, community services, and we'll do our CCAP awards. We'll just wait for Trin to come and join us. Good morning.
Good morning.
So we are at the Community Capital Assistance Program report. And as usual, we have more requests than we do money, so.
Yes, we do. Just a quick note, and Councillor Decken caught this. I didn't catch it when I was doing the report. Is the Battle River Pioneer Museum is requesting 40,000. Just a quick note that they're only eligible for 12.5 because they are within the town of Manning limits.
They are, I always
Yeah.
wondered, we talked about that before, and it seems like they're in the county, but they're not in.
The cutoff, I think, is actually just a little bit farther east of them by not very much of a distance. Did you want me to walk through each of the applications, or do you want to read through them yourself, or?
We got lots of time, we can run through them, I guess, and
Okay.
see your rationale.
All right, so the Battle River Pioneer Museum would like to purchase a fully operational 1912 Gar Scott steam tractor for their museum collection. It's for sale via a private owner in the Peace Country. The research indicates that the model is quite rare, perhaps one of 30 operational machines worldwide, and it's valued between $125,000 to $150,000. Multiple museum members have already traveled to inspect the machine. The tractor is listed as 79,000 in the budget that they have provided. Where are we? So to make up the not quite meeting the threshold of funds needed to purchase, they would have to do additional grant funding applications to other grant avenues, as well as private and or corporate support to complete the purchase. In the event of partial funding, they would have to increase their fundraising efforts, and I'm going to go on a limb and say they probably have to take possibly a little bit longer than a year to complete the fundraising efforts. Possibly, they might request an extension if they receive funds.
Again, they're only eligible for 12,500.
Again, they're only eligible for 12,500 out of the total pot of 50,000. They have not previously received CCAP funding from the county as well. Deadwood Community League is requesting $25,000 to renovate the hall's front entry to be fully enclosed and improve accessibility to people with mobility issues. The entrance right now, I'm not sure if any of you are familiar, it's a wooden ramp outside with a combination of cement. It's currently exposed to the elements year round, making access in the winter months difficult and at times unsafe. The enclosed renovated entrance would give a properly graded access to ensure wheelchair access is easier and reducing the risks of slip trips in the winter weather. In the event of partial funding, they would need to extend the project timeline to do more fundraising to complete the project. They have previously received funds in 2011 and 2016. The Manning and District Ski Club is requesting $15,000 to replace the deteriorated chalet deck. It has reached the end of its lifespan, and it came to a realization when snowfall off the chalet roof over the winter showed just how damaged the deck is, I should say. It's currently a safety hazard. The construction of the new deck will also allow the club to improve accessibility by installing ramp to accommodate people with mobility challenges or those using mobility aids or adaptive equipment. What else? As noted, club volunteers will remove and haul away the old deck pieces and stain the new deck. It is on the application under their budget, but they didn't assign a dollar value to it. In the event of partial funding, the Manning and District Ski Club would need to adjust the project scope to pursue additional funding. This could result in closing one chalet access door, disrupting the natural flow of foot traffic and making it more difficult for users to move throughout the space with their equipment. They have received CCAP funds previously in 2013, 18, 19, 21, and 2025. The Manning Enhancement Community / Legion is requesting $12,500 for the downtown hub project. The project includes a gazebo, landscaping, fencing, cement pathways, bathrooms, and a clock. The property is currently owned by the town of Manning and is on a 7-year lease with the Legion, which ends in 2029. The space will be free for public use. However, there will be rental fees for private bookings. The requested amount is to complete the matching requirement for the CFIP grant, which Council provided a letter of support for in 2024. The committee has received $70,912.50 from the CFIP, with $11,500 coming from the town of Manning and $31,912.50 from internal funds. In event of partial funding, the Manning Enhancement Committee / Legion would need to do the project in phases with priority components completed first and then ongoing fundraising efforts to support the project's completion. The Legion did receive CCAP funds in 2018. That would have been for the Legion Hall itself. The Weberville Community Club is requesting $45,475.76 to do repairs and maintenance at the Weberville Community Hall and the Letty Lake Campground, which they also operate. Projects include a transformer upgrade, installing additional powered campsites, and replacing the dock at Letty Lake, as well as repairing and painting the hall's interior walls and replacing light fixtures, converting to LED lights, and replacing switches. In the event of partial funding, the Weberville Community Club would need to continue fundraising by hosting paid attendance events and generating income from facility rentals. They have received CCAP in 2011 and 2025. I can go into more details about any of the particular applications or answer any questions as best as I can. I do have my handy dandy binder here. How much did they get last year? So on the page 5, there's projects supported in previous years. 10,000 to put towards new furnaces for the hall. So the project supported in previous years gives you a rundown for 2021 to 2025.
Okay, thanks, Ben.
You're welcome. There is also a considerations page there at the very end. This year's applications include projects that are overall improvements to the facilities, as well as potential safety and accessibility concerns. They need to be addressed. In addition, not all applicants can generate the same income using the same methods or access the same municipal operational grant funding. So just something to keep in mind is they don't necessarily have the means to generate funds in the same way as the other applicants. So yeah, there was only one application that did not meet the eligibility requirements, and that was the Lac Cardinal Recreation Association. They were only requesting $2,400 for chimney repairs. So they didn't meet the minimum threshold of $10,000. So they were directed to apply to the South Recreation Board.
Get penalized for not asking enough.
It happens. Some people just throw an application in just to try, and I direct them the best as I can to best avenue.
So I guess you have a decision to make from. What I've worked on so far is the museum and man enhancement committee, 12,500 each. Definitely think that they would qualify, so 25,000, that would leave another 25,000 to divide up. And the Deadwood mini roof, they could easily take all of that. But then that would leave out the Steve Club. Weberville, I mean, they've received. Pardon me?
Ski Club was received.
Yeah.
Every, for 5 years, yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm just looking back
Deadwood
here.
haven't received anything for a long time.
Yeah, some of these are kind of a safety concern and some of them are more.
No.
Safety, accessibility, or else.
Some thoughts from council, how would you like to see this?
For me, steam tractor is cool. But how many people get benefit from that compared to, community facility? Ski hill. Ski hill and, hall are considered safety issues. In my mind, that moves them up in priority.
I do have numbers from them on the applications where they have to provide an estimate of how many people have accessed the facility in the last year as well. Those are numbers you guys want, I can. And they grabbed their own binder, so
So,
if you really want it, I can want to know, I can run and grab it.
numbers for which?
So part of the application is they have to put in how many users accessed their facility in the last year. Yeah, everybody has to provide that information. I just grabbed the wrong binder, but I can go get it if you want. Yeah, I can go grab it.
Sure. Wait. I mean, the museum. That's kind of one of those things that's not hard, it's hard to measure, but I mean, it is a pretty unique museum, but as we'll see this afternoon, you have a lot of stuff and that would be an attraction to put them attract more people.
They got 13, they've got one of the most tractors, you know, it's amazing. You know, that are running compared to other places. And that's why they wanted that. I mean, it's like, a lot.
It would be one of the few museums in Alberta that would actually have a functioning steam engine if they went ahead with it. I think there's Beaver Lodge and there's one somewhere else. Yeah, that might be it.
All right, so Battle River Pioneer Museum said about 300 people. Yeah, all of these groups will be all volunteer run.
And that, I wonder how they keep track of that, because I think it's, do they have to register anybody there? It's free,
Yeah,
right?
you can sign it.
Yeah, but do people?
Yeah, they do have somebody at the front desk. It is, admission is by donation, and they do have a guest book as well. So they have some method of tracking
Yeah,
people. Yeah.
probably pretty close, so probably just catch everybody, but.
Deadwood Hall said 850.
I mean,
850. Here, Manning Ski Club said 500 plus. That one might be a little bit easier to track because they would have lift rentals or lift passes, I should say. Yeah. The Manning Community Facility Enhancement Committee. 250. And Weberville. Said about 1,500.
My first thoughts with the purchase of the truck, it seems to me like it's a nice. I understand it does increase tourism.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I understood as one of the thoughts behind it was to bring in more people, right, and they find out there's a functioning steam engine that they would, that number of 300 would grow.
Is that someone to operate?
Well, it's not as simple as just, you have to actually be certified.
Yes, part of their application includes training and transportation of the machine.
Yeah, there's a lot comes with it, you have to have, has to be, the board dispatch has to do inspections and, I don't know how frequent, but every once in a while they have to be certified if they want to keep it functioning. Isn't just park it on blocks and that doesn't have it.
Yes, the operators would require boiler certification.
And apparently they've got a new wave of younger generation showing interest in taking up training and that would be good, I guess.
Yeah, you get some young help in there.
I think, Linda, I think David is quite involved in it.
Yeah, he told me the other day about it. Talks about the tractors that we already have there, that they, of that community here, that are bringing, that attracts people to Manning, not only just Manning, but also to the community. We're talking about wanting our county known for something, that's one of it. I mean, sure, they're in the town Manning, they're on the edge of it, right? I mean, a lot of people that are working there are from the county, not just from the town of Manning.
I'm actually surprised at number 300 because that tractor bid will have the long weekend in August. There's probably 300 people show up for that alone, right? It's a big attendance, but maybe they don't factor it in there. I've joined there the last few years and there's well, you've been there too, there's a big crowd of this.
And I agree with Grant when it comes comes to safety, you know, like that with the. But. 800 people in Canada, you know, it's. It's even. I know myself when I went through the last time. Trying to walk up that, you know, we got bad legs and bad knees or whatever. We used to see it fixed up.
In my mind, ski hill and, all two safety issues. People provide the recreation for kids, gets them off their devices. I think it's an important asset.
That's also a very small group of volunteers that run this ski hill.
Well, I would support the museum and the ski hill and Deadwood, and they would split what's remaining. I don't know what the standing enhancement committee, you sit in that committee.
Well, we don't have to give them exactly what we're asking for.
Absolutely not. No.
That's what I'm-
That's kind of what I looked at. I went, we have 5, divide 50,000, give each 10 and call it a day. Well, then it's fair and it's, I don't know, I was like, it's kind of easy right now. We have 5 applications of 50,000, 10,000 each, like. I mean, that you're not, I don't know, it's always hard because everybody is. Relative, yeah, and it's. Yes, that was just my thought. I was
So-
like, that's, to me, was the fair
So
shake, to go 10,000 each and.
Just a quick note, your policy states that the max you can give to support communities is 12.5.
So there's 4 of them, I mean. I'm sorry, people is not, it's so many.
Yeah, but I'm saying.
12.5 from the 50,000 is available to the support communities.
Say there's a minimum amount?
That's the max you can
That's the
give.
max. So we can do
to-
10,000 to all 5 and it would be good.
No.
No, you only have 12,500 to provide to organizations within your service providing community.
Between Manning,
So
Grimshaw,
if you was to do those two, the enhancement and the Battle River Museum.
you'd have to split
you'd
the
have to
12.
Split the 12.5,
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
because your policy states it's a
Right.
percentage of your gross
I
pot.
see what you're saying. Okay, well, my simple solution does not work.
What I also look at is how much they've contributed themselves, we was young, this is how we money. They in towards their. Yeah, with them. Like American Transit, that's quite a bit.
Yeah, everybody else does.
We did with community, as a lot of them need to investigate themselves, I think that makes a big difference. Probably not supposed to.
Yeah, the project that size, 25,000. Or 10,000, where we get them with. Whatever that minimum amount is. Wouldn't really help them.
So it's just the Manning enhancement and the Battle River then that would have to do one or the other for the 12.5, right?
Yes,
Those are the ones that are
Yeah.
in bounds.
You
so
can only do one of them, is that what you're saying?
yeah, the Battle River, well, 12.5, you can split it between the two or you can give to one.
Can't split it because the minimum is 10 grand. But it depends how you guys interpret that.
The project cost minimum has to be $10,000. It doesn't say the minimum you have to give them is $10,000. Because we've given less.
Funding request must be greater than 10,000 feet.
Yeah,
Yes,
but they can give less, but they did in the previous years give 5,000.
And the other one I would argue you probably do as well, as it says, registered non-profit cemetery societies, libraries located in Germantown, Manning, and East River can apply for funding requests for no greater than 12.5.
Yeah.
So does that mean
I
they each
think
can
they-
apply for 12.5, or does that mean you can only dole out 12.5? It's very unclear. That's how I read it, as they can't ask for more. I feel like we've had this conversation every year though with this policy.
sorry here for that.
Maybe we better look at the policy.
We've been trying to look at this policy for 3 years, here we can't get everybody in a room.
So I'm still unclear, but we have two with, not within the county, two in Town of Manning. They-
Two within the town of Man, yeah. And then the rest are,
Receive the 10,000,
Right, that's the way I read it.
so I thought,
The total is over, no, I think it's further.
so. My view is if they should fit their 25, I believe 25,000, that we could divide this out, you know, just.
Or if we're gonna interpret the policy that way, give everybody 10,000.
Well, if that's allowed, I guess, and
Or just give the balance 25,000
To the debt, which that's what I would do.
25 to debt, and 12 to.
Do the 12.5 to the town.
That's,
That's mine. Yeah, because I think the town of Manning, that enhancement, that would be benefit to us if we want to ever rent that. I mean, it's gonna be quite a nice. We try to work with.
well, I mean, if we know our residents
Absolutely.
use it, right?
For sure.
Okay, so there's a suggestion that we give 12.5 to the enhancement and that was. We need 25 to the Deadwood community. Well, they've received the last,
All 5 years. Whether nations.
well,
But
that's
then
a
if-
suggestion, and I'll open for discussion.
Yeah.
So 12.5 to Battle River, 12.5 to the Manning enhancement.
25 to Edward.
Okay, so then our ratepayer is gonna be frustrated that we are funneling money into the town of Manning and not. I don't know, like I'm just trying to think,
Oh, it's there for that, it's in our policy that they can
Yeah.
apply, so, I mean, if you don't want them to apply, don't allow them to.
yeah,
And then we've historically given it to
yeah.
two servers.
But then are they gonna interpret it as, well, the ski hill has a safety issue, but we're gonna spend it on a tractor? I don't know, I'm fine with whatever.
What about?
I'm not gonna argue with it.
No, I read see the ski home and the dragger, it's, you know, again, it'd be nice. How many would benefit?
Well, and that's kind of what I was thinking, like, if we just did 10,000 to everybody,
I
then.
don't like the idea,
You know.
ends the machine over, split it up. That's it.
Well,
Then
here's that, then the museum and the enhancement society would be still on target, right? I mean, 2,500 less.
And that's what I figured, it's close enough, right, like, then everybody wins.
True, for sure.
Yeah, and I mean, really, the ski hill, if they got 10, they're pretty close to their target, then they can probably compromise somehow. And then the weather bill, when they're, and then they're still gonna have quite a shortfall, but that's again better than that.
But Weaverville, we've also historically contributed a lot of money to, so for them to have a little bit of a shortfall, I think that's the fairest way to go about it.
Honestly, I think probably a lot of these applications is the thought is ask for lots and hope for the best and send it whatever you get, right?
For sure, and I totally get the tractor portion, I mean, right, it's tourism drive, but then evening it out with everybody else makes it more fair.
So we have a proposal on your screens there. Somebody wants to make that motion, then you can put it to vote for me.
I think I can have my own system that I'll go through the 10 for everybody.
So you can motion.
Make that motion.
Okay, Councillor Decker, we split that funding equally between the 5 applications, 10,000 each. You follow that, Gary? Okay.
That's a big
Sorry,
range
I
up.
forgot to use my.
Okay, any further last minute comments, discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Okay, good, Gary, that's good. Thanks, Gary.
Thanks for always,
I think I'm up again.
Item B is a rec board donation.
Yeah. All right, so we have our first quarterly report of Recreation Board donations. The North Rec Board, you'll see two tables here. The last two requests that they got in the remaining 2025 funds from last year. So they only funded the one. And they just got their application in for operational funding in March, I believe. So they had just gotten their funds. And the only record I have of donations made so far is team jackets for Alberta Winter Games for $2,000. And then the South Recreation Board has also dispensed some funds as well. Everything looks to be in order for them funding.
Sorry, I'm really confused. So down at the bottom, it says 59,012.
Sorry, I can't hear you. What do you?
Trying to figure out how much funding is for the North Rec Board. What's the total?
On the front page is what has been dispensed, what I have a record of being dispensed. So the first table is the last of the funds for the last quarter of 2025. And the next one is the first quarter of 2025. I only have a record of the Alberta Winter Games team jackets. I haven't received notification of what else has been funded so far.
I was asking, how much money do we give the North Rec Board on the South?
Total together is 140,000, North gets 68, South gets 72, based on households, South usually gets a little bit.
It's not showing here.
Yeah.
Is that something you would like to see in the report?
Yes. That way we know what they have left.
Well, it'll be a rough estimate because they would have other expenditures not listed in there.
Like the South Rec Board is greater activities. What I'm saying.
Well, the bigger attachment.
Yeah. We would use,
So the North Rec Board, we just get it from
Manning and
the Francis River.
Off the top of my head, it is Dixonville South, including Peace River Grimshaw is the South Rec Board, then everything else is North Rec Board.
And so the Alberta Winter Games was from what? So was it from the school or was it from the province or?
Badminton team jackets. Yeah.
What's the?
Any other questions?
I can move that we accept the report confirmation unless anybody else has questions.
Okay, thanks, Councillor Shannon, that's the Rec Board report for the information. For me,
never decided to follow the meeting.
I believe Josh forwarded dates for the next month. And possible meeting dates to see when you guys would be available.
Well, no, because we wanted everybody in the room, and as of right now, the North Rec Board is never. So we haven't got as far as getting council names in. I think I did forward the emails and things like that.
Yeah, you did.
The response back was an amount unanimous, we would like all parties in the room, so. Ethan, North Rec Board.
Not that responded at all on
Yeah, I
Yeah.
noticed that after CD, after CD.
Sometime,
Could be
yeah.
till June before everybody's finished.
you know,
Maybe
in the
spring.
spring
Yeah.
season.
Spring.
yes.
So pick a day when it's a torrential downpour, and we can just make it happen.
Okay, when I get wet.
We'll look in that, who reads the farmer's almanac? Tell me a day this summer, it's gonna be.
The last year for the farmers on
Is it?
too.
Hopefully they don't panic like the Mayan calendar is.
Okay, so we have a motion to accept the Rec Board report, all in favor? We'll try to continue working on that.
Oh, you still get me one more time.
Yep, okay, next is the Hopfield Ag Society request for support.
Yes. so the Hawk Hills Egg Society would like to apply for the Farm Credit Canada Acre Spirit Grant Fund to replace the playground at the Hawk Hills Hall. The current playground was quite old. The winter frost heaves have damaged the equipment. The estimate for new equipment is $80,000, and they'll be requesting $25,000 to the Agri Spirit Fund. In order to meet the eligibility requirements for the fund, they have to have a partner municipality. The requirements for us as a municipal partner are to provide a letter of support for the grant application, co-sign the agreement to receive the funds, and then disperse the funds to the Hawk Hills Egg Society. It's pretty straightforward. The Battle River Egg Society did something similar, I think, for their playground with the town of Manning, and it was just kind of basically a formality in order to be eligible for the funds. So they are requesting a letter of support and become a municipal partner. It is a little bit short notice. They just became aware of the grant on May 4th, and the due date to apply is actually this Friday. So they would need their letter of support by this Friday, which is conveniently drafted ahead of time in case you decided to move forward with such a thing.
Just to confirm, there's no financial implications for the county.
No, we accept the funds, we give them the funds.
Yeah, I don't have a problem. I'll make the motion to go ahead and support Hawk Hills Egg Society application and their requirements.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, any clarification? All in favor?
I will have that letter printed for Harry to sign end of the meeting. Thank you, everybody.
Okay,
Strand.
move down to 7.0 board reports, and I noticed mine's not in the package. I had it on my documents. I thought I sent it to Teresa, but obviously I never, so I'll forward that to council. Later. I'm so sorry, but yeah, I had it all done and for somehow I didn't send it, I guess. So just do board reports. Okay, so let's get all in favor. The info package had some additions. Any comments coming out of them? You want your motion to accept? Very good.
I just want to refer council to K10E. That getting major projects built in Canada discussion paper. That was quite an interesting read.
Yeah, that would come out of nowhere.
They find, and they could potentially push through the nuclear approval within a year is what I don't know.
You know, so all major projects can be,
Yeah.
they're not starting from scratch every time.
Yeah.
They're eating themselves.
That is an interesting read.
No other comments? The motion to accept the info package's information. Gary? You want us to make a motion to accept the info package? Just make sure you're awake.
That was a big thumbs up.
Okay. Councillor Thies makes that motion. All in favor? Gary? We can move to page 3. Open mic. I'll start with Dan. You got anything?
Yeah, so 50,000 divided by 5, that's pretty easy for the CCAP. I'm very happy with that. Is there a limit to how many times organizations can apply to CCAP?
It doesn't appear to be.
It's once per year, but no. It's just one thing council can consider when they award it.
And where's the location and time for the June 15 Great Fair meeting? Has that been decided yet?
For the 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was decided for June 15th
In Dixonville,
in Dixonville.
In
or
Dixon?
just, the location will be.
Okay.
But likely the hall,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's 7 o'clock, you said.
7
Yeah. And I was just wondering, are any council members attending the Dixonville Charter School Society's AGM on Wednesday?
You remember, Archie?
I'll be there.
You will be there.
board.
And what is MARC?
Oh, sorry, acronyms, right? It's
Yeah.
Manning Area Attraction and Retention Committee, so it's for retaining healthcare workers, attracting and retaining healthcare workers.
And yeah, I was just wondering if I could get any photos of that. Would be,
Get any photos?
yeah, delivery or I
Yeah, so
can.
probably, I think, Teresa, we said on, the week of rural health will be our next council meeting, the 26th. You will be here anyway. So at some point, we're gonna try and fit that in. We can go down and hand them out and, any members that are available, and yeah, you're welcome to come. We'll let you know.
Yeah, perfect.
Maybe an extra one for you.
Maybe sugar. All right, thanks.
We're good? Okay. Anything else?
How's the sound system come?
What?
Sound system.
It's coming,
Sound system.
it's coming.
So,
When?
I don't know, but it's coming.
That's what I thought. Nobody knows.
well, let an update and talk to the guy, right?
I did speak to the guy. We did a virtual tour of the council chambers. And he's coming back with a final quote, and then we'll approve it, and then he'll order the stuff and install it, so hopefully before Christmas. We are relying on contractors to do those type of things. It's not something that we have internal skills to do. So if you know somebody else, I would really like to hear that contact details, and maybe we can get a second opinion if you want.
Just checking.
Just answering.
Bill's heard that. I got a long list today. Carrying on with what Dan said. When we read through these packages, I know you guys are used to them. And the acronyms really confuse us at times. Is there somewhere on the web page or something that has a page with all the acronyms that actually tells us what they are? Because we gotta Google them and say, well, is this the one that you guys are talking to?
You know, I don't think there is a glossary. I mean, it's,
Yes.
Because I know as I'm reading through, I was like, okay, I remember that one, right? So that would be good to know. Just points out.
Sherry.
Maybe just a comment on that one. Most of the acronyms are noted with the full names or the full descriptions in the request for decision, so you can.
Right, sometimes they are, but sometimes they aren't, if you're just reading through the agenda.
I'll just make sure that all the new RFPs that we'll put in the council package will actually have,
Okay, yeah,
at
that'd be great.
first, at least at first, say what it is, and then we use
Yeah.
it from there on.
Great. Went to the trade show. My first opinion before going to the trade show, that it was a waste of time and money for you guys to do that. But after going to it, I had a very good conversation with Gloria and Caitlin. Which really surprised me, was very open. And I know as you guys have talked to and you've asked the library board and even today, how many people actually go to each of these things? Do you guys have a number of how many people you talked to or attended the booth or any way of recording that?
So that's why they do the door prize typically, just to get people to sign in and do that. And we used to just track how many things we gave away with single items. That was kind of how we track. People, it's over 1,000.
Okay, so do you know if they're from the county or from the town or where? I would have thought you would have a better way, like somebody with a little clicker kicking each person or actually asking them, are you from the county or from the consumer? Just interesting.
I think we did ask a few people, like, where do you live or whatever, but didn't record it, so I see what you're saying.
And another thing, I don't know if this would be possible. I would have really liked to see just a 3 little questionnaire. Are you happy with the way the MD is being run? Do you like our budget? Just something that I can check yes, and then you guys get a little rough guess on what people are thinking.
A little survey.
Yeah, just nothing big, and just simple stuff, unless you really want to go in deep. That's the
We could even have the report ourselves.
So that was good. You guys just passed this, can't remember which one, 6.5A on your travel. I've seen a couple of mistakes. I don't know if you want to correct them or not. The one you're doing the ad, and it's in red, I think. 4.1, and you plug in there when. I don't know if it's supposed to be in there. It's just. I read it, it didn't make any sense to me. And then, as you go down through there, you have your meals. And I understand your breakdown for, you can just claim for your meals, or you can put in your receipt for your actual meals. And this is where it gets gray area. Technically, I could go out and have a $500 dinner, give you the receipt, and you're obligated to pay it. There's no limit on it, and this is what we see with politicians, where we always complain that they put in these humongous bills, and there should be, I think, a limit on that. That's something for you to consider. And now you guys discussed that, asking about the northern living allowance. I read through the whole package, and I don't understand why you guys had questions on it, because everything was answered except one thing. All they wanted was support from you because they want the government, they're proposing to the government to put it in their budget that everybody living in northern Alberta gets an allowance. This has nothing to do with federal government. This is the Alberta government. And they wanted support to get all the counties in the north saying, yes, we'll approach the government and ask them to put this in the budget to see if we can get it installed for people who live in the north. The only thing they didn't put in there is what it would cost the government. There's no numbers whatsoever. They're just saying it would be a huge budget number. You guys, when I sit, I read the package, I come to the council meeting, and I don't understand how you guys make some of your decisions because some of the questions aren't answered before you make your decision. For example, the snowplow one is a perfect example. I listened to your comments, you guys agreed to it. The one thing that would have made it very good for you making a decision and also to be able to explain it is to know what it costs to plow a private driveway. And it would have been real easy to just ask your grader operators, okay, at the end of the day, when you're doing all these driveways, how many hours did it take? How many did you do? And you can figure out how much it costs. So when someone says, why are you canceling it? Because it's costing us $300 to plow one driveway, we're getting $50. So that brings up the other.
I can give a comment on that one. Charles did explain to council in the previous meeting where we actually decided to not go ahead with it, that the average, what's it, Alberta rates $225 an hour.
$232 an hour.
50%, $232 an hour. That's what the average rate is. So you can't say the driveway is going to take us only 15 minutes because it's all dependent on the driveway. So if you work at cost, it would be $232
an hour.
an hour.
Right, an hour. But like I said, for our county, it's different because it's so spread out. You could have asked the grader operator and you could know exactly what it costs. It might be more, it might be less. And when you just explain this to the people, I would understand that. Which brings up.
But just another comment on that, Paul, it's also the $232 an hour would include, and then you have to include traveling to the property, as well as doing the snow removal at the property and the traveling back, because that's how the contractors would charge you.
Oh, no, I understand. I agree with what you guys decided. It was a huge subsidy to those people and hard work for the county.
But it's not just money though, as well, because then you have a dilemma if it's snowing and you got people phoning the office and my driveway's plugged, so here goes the grader empty. Meantime, there's roads piling up and then people see the grader going empty. So again, it's not just the dollars, it's providing the service. It hampers our ability to provide the service in the roads.
I agree with that 100%. So that brings up my next point. I don't understand how council makes their decisions on who they subsidize and who they don't. So they decided they're not gonna subsidize the snowplow because it affects everything. But on the other hand, we're subsidizing dust control by 50%. So why are we subsidizing one group of people, I don't know how many it is, and we stop subsidizing another because we just don't wanna do it?
It's not because we don't wanna do it. Bill, you know better than that.
The Sunny Valley Road has been identified as resource road. It has a huge volume truck. That's one that we decided that we would subsidize. Because of the volume gravel typically comes out.
Oh, no, I understand that, I'm just asking, because I know you guys. Do the dust control in the hamlets and the Sunny Valley roads, any place there's big use. But then we have these individual people who get subsidized half of the price of their dust control. And the next guy can't afford the $700, so he doesn't get dust control, but he's subsidizing the person who can. I try and follow through your policies, and I'm having concerns and this, in that same letter. Money is being spent. I still, for the life of me, cannot understand how all of you guys going to the NARPA dinner paid for by the taxpayers help the taxpayer one little bit. To me, that's kind of hard to explain to anybody. This one's for Charles. I don't know. I don't know how this is working. We've had this county for years and years and years, and this year we had lots of flooding. But over the years, the majority of our culverts are damaged, so they can't handle the flow of water that they should have. And I've never seen anyone repair it. They replace the odd one, which is quite expensive. And I also, when I talked to Caitlin about this, is there a inventory where all our culverts are? Because they went down and steamed 2 culverts and left the third one unsteamed and had to come back the next day because they missed the culvert, and they said, well, we didn't know it was even here. So I just something to look into, whether there's an inventory of every culvert on the road.
There is, but things, when these roads were built in the 60s, some of these pipes, we don't know where they're at. But additionally, there's other types of pipes that are in the ground, so if there's concrete pipe in the ground that the roofing district put in, I can't find those with pin finder.
I understand that,
But there is an inventory.
right, I would have thought the grader man's grading at 5 kilometers an hour, he's got a map and he goes, yep, there's a culvert. Yep, there's a culvert.
I would much rather him focus on driving and not
Yeah, okay.
doing.
Okay, so my other point,
Continuous.
my other point on that is just south of Deadwood, I drove down the road. Within a mile space, there's 3 places the water ran over the road and washed it out a little. And they're all in little hollows. All 3 of those places have no culvert, but up on top of the hill, there's a culvert. And this has been going on for years and years and years, and I don't understand how this never gets fixed. Just every spring, when there's a wet year, we have the same problem.
Well, I wasn't here years ago, so.
But,
Yeah,
but even driving around the county, I noticed that, and I believe a lot of those culverts are getting bent when they do the side of the ditch. And they're bent about halfway down.
yeah, there's gotta be something that. I'm surprised that this is the problem throughout probably the world, that these culverts get bent wherever they grade. That somebody hasn't come up with a way of fixing it. I've come up with 3 ways. It might cost a little bit of money, but it might save money in the long run. The other thing is, I know Gerhard didn't like me using the word parasites. And Jim just said, this turned into a parasite meeting where you guys are just giving the money away to people who just come and ask. And I keep hearing the comment from each of you, or some of the people, is we need stable funding. What about the farmer out there? Doesn't get no stable funding, but he's gotta fund the ski hill, he's gotta fund this, he's gotta fund that. Come on, people, there's people who can't afford gas and meals. And I've gotta fund all this little recreation crap that people want, that they're not willing to fund, and they use it every day. And they want me to, and all my neighbors to fund it, who probably haven't even heard of some of these things. And that would be one of the things to ask people. And I like the comment that Gloria said, Phil, don't just come up with problems, Give us solutions. So here's my solution, and I gave it to you several years ago. Because I come to these meetings, a lot of time is spent on giving away money, and then because you give money to these places, they want you to sit on the board, and then you go to more meetings, you report, it's just a big cycle. As I suggested before, which I think would be absolutely fair to everybody but the parasites. When you send me my tax report, you send me a paper with a list of everybody that wants money. And on the end, I will write in how much I'm willing to donate to each one of those. And when the tax comes in, you write them a check for what people wanted to donate to that society. And if people aren't willing to give to it, apparently we do not want it. And it would be so simple, it takes it out of your hands, out of your hair. And people will go back to the old way where we need money, we'll go do fundraising.
Yeah, well, I got pushed back on this word parasite. These are volunteer people out in the community volunteering, ski hill, other things that to give kids something to do. So I totally disagree with that word parasite. That's just out of the whack here now. This is a very small part of our overall budget that enhances our community. Most people are in agreement. I know you don't use it, so you don't agree with it, but most people do. Okay, some people don't, but we have an obligation to support our community. And again, this is a very small number compared to our budget overall, and it enhances our community. And you don't value it, I get it, but most of us do.
Okay, so give me some numbers. That's why I'm asking, give me numbers to support. You're saying that most people support it. Yes, some people will, some people don't.
Well, we can go by the comments we get when we go to these public meetings. There's very few people that are against supporting these, event venues for sports and things like that. Most people understand that it's important for our youth and our community, and it enhances our quality of life.
Well,
Okay, I'll make one more comment.
make the society, right? I mean, that's what you do for social, economic benefits. Go ahead and make your last comment. We have to wrap up here.
Well,
Yeah, okay, I'm done. I forgot that you
Okay.
blew it out of me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so we're gonna take a break, then we have several in-camera items to go through, so let's take a 10-minute break. And the next council, I'm gonna report to, I apologize again, so if we have a 5-minute break, you can. So by what, 26, she's already got a draft there.
Yeah. Give a first reading to.
Yeah, to give first reading to land use bylaw amendment number 2661/508.
Yep.
A bylaw to rezone 2 fragmented parcels located at northwest 319322 West 5th. And set the date of Tuesday, June 9th, 2026 for the public hearing at 11 o'clock. And advertised in the mile zero banner post on May 20th and 27th. And the county social media.
You'll have to run that one, the instructions are back there, because I'll be on them, so.
Oh, man.
Okay, so that's clear then, all in favor, it's carried. And then, what else we have, CO. Pardon me?
The rate here meeting.
So that's just.
No, oh yeah, because we didn't discuss it again, but we said we'd come back to it for later, right?
So
So
we said June, June the 17th. And the 15th is them,
That was the first rate pay and
we said June the 17th.
So it's that.
34, 4, 5, and 6.
did we not do the 18th,
Kaylin wasn't available, I don't think.
19th?
19th.
Somewhere.
I probably could make the 17th, well, it's gonna be an evening meeting, right?
It's gonna be your word.
Yeah, well, I know, that's why I'm trying to find a date.
So were you available on the 18th?
No, because I'm going from, correct, that's here down south for the 19th I can make.
19th, how about you? Yeah, 19th,
19th,
Fred, 19th?
Yeah.
so we got 19th, and I just put this code this way.
Friday.
Still at 7 here.
By who? Who's moving that?
Nobody had, so
Yeah, nobody.
this is wards 4, 5, and 6. Linda, did you want to have your own separate one up there, or want to join with us, or? I mean. It's a long ways for the residents to drive down.
Maybe in August, we could look at moving our council meeting up there.
It would be nice to have a council meeting.
Yeah, then they-
Or September when the weather's still decent.
Well, it won't be harvest, but
Oh, yeah, right, yeah.
July.
Yeah. Or August.
we could maybe do
For our
a bit of a
August
road
meeting.
tour. Council meeting. Anyway, let's.
See if we have to see if Phil can come, I don't know.
You could write
It would just be good if we had a motion that they can do one advertisement.
Yeah. And I don't care if we.
Okay, so,
So it's only Ward. Then,
yeah. No,
4, 5, 6.
4, 5, 6.
sorry, 4, 5, 6.
And I think we have to have it somewhere different than here. You know, we show, like, we used to have a hamburger roast and word meeting here at noon hour, nobody comes. And nobody will come anyways.
What are you talking about, the rapier meeting?
Yeah.
We're not having it here, but you
No, I
know,
don't.
any money, anything, it's free. Like,
I mean, we get one free hole at like a Hotchkiss or, I don't know, egg hole.
it should be close between.
Well, I care.
Yeah, it should, but.
I don't care, you can have it here. That
Well,
works.
because then Brent's people live halfway, or
On the 19th.
So it's only 4,
Yeah,
5,
well,
6.
that's what I
instead
said,
of-
we discussed.
So, are we gonna have a daytime meeting or an
no,
evening meeting?
7 evening.
June plus.
Okay,
Okay, so I'm gonna start with,
That's June the 19th.
yes,
what do we call it?
Yeah,
more.
And then
6 right here.
1, 2, and 3 are on the 15th.
Who made that motion? Nobody?
Nobody had.
I heard you.
Okay,
Yeah, I'll go get it.
Okay, all in favor? Carried. Now we can move to the performance appraisal.
Can we do, entering into, I'll get another one day, this is for the fire services.
Already,
Yeah.
you're not gonna put a number beside that, right? We're just gonna say we'll engage whatever it is out this calendar. No name,
Yeah,
nothing,
no,
urban fire services, whatever it is.
we'll find councillor.
Right.
One thing we didn't do. I don't know if we need to, but Mercer, invitation there to come and watch their display of. On their
They get
bio and whatever thing.
We didn't ratify the motion from our email.
We just emailed.
For the
them
plan.
saying, yes, they'll go. For their, it's the same day as their PIC, but they're having the.
Yeah. So Caitlin and me and Gary are gonna go and there, so
Yeah.
we're gonna make a motion that, what was it in minutes?
Brent didn't want to go?
No.
It's not the day, like.
Yeah, just to ratify that, one good call.
Me?
May 20th for Mercer.
Yeah. Gonna be right out here in Bethany.
There's all over the one for fire. The fire agreement.
I can move the fire agreement if we don't have a motion.
So the motion reads, moved by councillor Shark to acknowledge, to authorize administration to enter into an agreement with Urban Edge Fire Strategies
Yes.
to assist with the regional fire services. Regional fire services setup.
Wonderful.
Fire services, what?
Set up.
No. Oh, very professional work, it'll work.
Set up or establishment.
Establishment.
And
Establishing,
three schools.
establishing municipal fire. Okay, all in favor of that? Good. So we got one more stuff in a Teresa probably doesn't have you.
Cheat sheet for.
Which one, like?
So, approve. Moved by whoever to approve. Attendance to Mercer's. No,
Oh, what do you call that? That's why I was like, go back.
Plan project.
Approve
we got a.
council to attend the Mercer.
I'll find the right-
Plan project, what did you say? I just have plan project.
Site briefing. And MDU tour is what the invitation said.
Briefing and
Mobile demonstration unit tour.
I mean, she called it future Mercer, new service stakeholder event.
on.
What day is it?
May 20th.
Week from tomorrow.
We're inviting government stakeholders from across the region to learn more about the carbon capture project and tour the mobile demonstration unit.
You got it. Got a bunch in there?
Yep.
And it's all about
Moved by
time.
Moved by somebody to approve council to attend the Mercer site briefing and mobile demonstration tour on May 20th, 2026.
Okay, Councillor, I can make that motion. Well, do you have to list the councillors that are attending?
I won't be there, but
I think everyone's going
But if-
except myself and Brent.
If we approve council,
Copies
then
at 9:30.
anybody that
That's not that, well, but I never invitation list though, so it's not specific, but it doesn't matter. You know who's going, all in favor, it's carried.
that's not rulings, right?
Yeah, that's right. Okay, so now the last one, I think, is the evaluation. Or we call it performance appraisal.
Remember, everybody check the minutes for this meeting for the next one.
So, moved by Councillor White. To accept or to approve the CEO performance appraisal.
As discussed.
Let's discuss.
accept.
And is it the old, about step 6 in there, I think.
Step six.
Um,
Maybe this one will be,
step
maybe we'll have it. This one is word. Okay.
You want to read that back?
No, we're gonna keep whatever I said here. Moved by councillor to accept the CAO performance approval,
Appraisal.
appraisal. Accept the. CAO. As well as a step increase on the CAO salary grid.
Sure. I'll move it. Yeah, you're moving, I was gonna move it, go ahead. Okay, all in favor, it's carried, I think that's it.
I think that's it, John.
Would you meet here?
So what is happening with